away. But what are you going to do when a veteran passes away? Because a lot of times we have to reinvent the wheel. But I think our sister Betty Bobs says she's went through a similar experience, so she should be able to help us. So if we miss anything, Sister Betty Bobs, let us know. First thing you need to do is notify. All right? That's the first step. Notification. Who do you notify? We're about to talk about it. For those of you that have had veteran family members that have passed away, let us know what we missed. We're going to go over the general things. And if you can think of anything else, let us know. She says she went through it times 2. She lost more than one family member that was a veteran. If anybody in here that have lost a close family member that was a veteran, let us know. And you know, I got several family members, but it's more my great uncles and stuff. So in my lifetime, oh, maybe not in the close family, because I don't know anybody in my close family like my grandmother's children. No, I think I'm one of the only ones that went in the military, but I got other cousins. Yes, indeed. Notification. You're gonna have to notify people, family. All right. So our brother said, my Uncle Gordon, Vietnam vet, like a father to me. Yes, indeed. Anybody in here lost a family member, a close family member? Come on, family, let's talk about it. Oh boy, I didn't close that. Let's see. Well, if you're talking about father side, the uncles 4. Wow. Okay. So it's been a few. Okay. Now, given the things, the first thing, if you lose a family member that's a veteran, there's certain things you need to know. All right. The first people you need to contact is the morgue or the doctor where the deceased body is. Okay. This is very important. Okay. Y'all keep chatting about it. I'm gonna get to it. Next. Why? Why would you want? Because you need something in particular from that morgue or that mortician. You need a certificate of death. Certificate of death. You need to make sure that document is the doctor, you tell them you need, how important it is for you to get it. This is going to help you move when it comes to the VA benefits, the funeral home, different things, okay? You need to contact family members, all right? You need to contact family members. Let me ask here. So first, I guess we say, how did the other family members find out Betty Bobs? Let's see what our brother says here. He says, brother MG Smith says, my first cousin, Ricky Wells, we grew up together like brothers, Air Force, Spectrum. He was the only 53 years old. Yeah, man, that's amazing. Now, we're going to talk more. You can let us know, how did y'all contact y'all family? Who found out? Who let the family know? Did the family members that was closest to the veteran know what to do? Did you assist them? Let us know. Okay, this thing now it's acting up on me. You need to notify the fiduciary if the veteran has a fiduciary, right? And we have a video on this. Watch our video, VA fiduciary program, and it'll let you know, because they're gonna be the ones that is controlling the funeral and everything, because they're control over the veteran's check and everything else. Now, just because they have a power of attorney, it does not do anything with the VA benefits. All right, you have to have a fiduciary. Now, sister says, I did everything myself. We need your input tonight, sister. So when we going, so that's one, the morgue or the doctor, the mortician, and the fiduciary. Watch our video to learn more about that. Now, a fiduciary is a person or entity appointed by the VAB, which is the VA, to receive VA benefits on behalf of beneficiary, which is the veteran, and beneficiary's dependents, which is the veteran's dependents. Then use those funds in the best interest of the beneficiary. Now let's see what my sister say here. She said a power of attorney dies when the person dies. Oh, see, you teaching us some stuff. Family, do we have the right people in the room or not? Let us continue. Now, another thing you need to contact is their job. Well, what if they're retired? You better contact their job about their retirement. You need to let the job know that they have passed, right? This is very important because it'll be like they're off from work or something, and they might get fired for not being at work. You need to let them know that the veteran is deceased, because you need to know the employment benefit package, a summary of all the benefits. If you're a spouse, you're a dependent, or whatever, whoever qualifies for the retirement, they need to know. Contact place of employment. Then if they have a CPA, need to contact the CPA, which is a certified public accountant. Little thing, hopefully my daughter gonna be starting in October. I say hopefully, she already got the job. So throwing that out there, you see me throw that out there. Now listen to what my sister say. I am escrow closer. I must have a notary. All right, I am a notary as well. Okay. So she doing that closing, family. Y'all hear that? Get your little contact information together. We ain't got no problem putting the word out there for you, and people check her out. We don't mind doing that. Now stocks, if they especially find out either through their CPA or if they have stocks, bonds, need to find out where all that information is. It's good you keep everything in one place if you're a veteran. If they have an attorney, our sisters say, okay. If they have an attorney. Now let me ask you this here. Brother Kevin Colbart Sr., let me ask you if you're in it right now. Do y'all have a special ceremony? Because I know y'all Marines do everything different. When you have a veteran funeral, do they do it a certain way as Marines? Because y'all tend to be a unique way y'all do. Do y'all just let VSOs, veteran service organizations, orchestrate it most of the time? Let us know, Brother Kevin. Now, if you have an attorney, let's say the attorney is a power of attorney. Let's say the attorney is the one that's helping with the VA claim, the PACT Act, or something the veteran is fighting for. The Agent Orange thing. Then you need to contact the funeral home. You say you missed it. What did you miss? I'm sorry. She says she missed something. And contact the funeral home. Oh, Kevin say he missed it. Okay, he missed it. So let me ask you. Oh, that was Kevin. I thought that was Betty Bob talking. I'm crazy, Kevin. What I'm asking, do you know when they have at the veteran cemeteries, do they do particular things or you just don't know? Okay, you say you missed it. I would like to know. But you need to contact the funeral home because a lot of the things that need to be done can be done directly with the funeral home, but you need certain documents, and we're going to talk about that in a second. We got this thing organized because I felt kind of bad when one of the veterans asked about do it. I gave him the links, but we had to do something that's going to help. And hopefully this helps them out and others. Now, why the funeral home? Because you need to know how the arrangements for the funeral, how they're going to be buried, whether they're going to be cremated, right? This is a big thing. Or they're going to be have a full military burial with a casket. Okay, he says, H-Town, but I really don't know. He said he don't know. I'm just real curious. That's just something that I don't know either. Betty say, now my experience was different from what you are speaking of. Okay. We're just covering all avenues. Usually it can go simple, or we want to cover things and need to know what the veteran wishes are. Contact their pastor or what preacher they want to speak at the funeral. All right. They need to be notified. Number two, so there's other people, anybody else that y'all can think of that should be notified when a veteran passes. Let us know. Now, that's notification was number one. Number two is what? We're dealing with documentations. So that's why it's good to keep documents together. Betty Bob say, my uncle was a Marine. All type of documentation, right? It's important that you have what documentation. Now follow me here, family. This is, okay, that didn't work. Give me a second. All right, let's get to the documentation. Now, it's making me click twice and that kind of make it hard. So it's important to get all the documentation together. So a list of important documents, all right? The DD-214, right? Which is your military discharge document. And make sure you have copies, lots of copies. The death certificate, they recommend 12 copies of that because you're going to have to give copies of that to everybody, to the VA, probably the VA again, the funeral home, when you're applying for certain benefits, like Chapter 35, if they were 100%, all type of things. Now look, the deceased birth certificate also, the spouse's birth certificate, minor or adult children birth certificates. You say, why adult children? Because they need to know that you're a family member at the VA. Number two, the child may be a helpless child and qualify for extra benefits. Okay, marriage certificates. Been married 7 times, better have 6 divorce things, and if you with a current spouse, you better have 6 divorce decrees. All right, and other important documents. Can y'all think of any other important documents, man? Now, it's important that when you get that DD-214, that character of discharge, this is another document you should have. This is the code sheet. This is not the DD-214. We're about to show you that in a minute. Describes the service, how the service member was released from military. So they may not qualify to be buried with military honors if they got a dishonorable discharge. All right, whether under honorable conditions, appears on the DD-214, which is the official, all right, which is the official documents that include the reasons for separation. Thank you, my sister, for doing your job. She say 3 likes, 3 here. Now, and they catch up slow because it's showing 9 likes here. That's why I say the YouTube now, yeah, kind of went up nice. It takes a while to update, but thank you for keeping us updated. 8 likes, 9 watching. Smash that like button, family. So I'm assuming if you have an honorable or honorable under general conditions, you should be okay. Other than other conditions, dishonorable, uncharacterized, bad conduct may be an issue. So you need to know and make sure that veteran get their status upgraded, even if they're 100%, because they're letting people get 100% disability. At the same time, they still never got their discharge upgraded. And we're going to do a video on that also. Because what's important is that veteran status. If you don't have the veteran status, the benefits are going to be hard to get, and the burial benefits are going to be hard to get, okay? Because the funeral home going to want that DD-214, right? A former, what is the veteran status? A former service member must have had active duty, military, naval, air, space service, active duty, active service, and a discharge or released from service that or released a discharge or release from that service under conditions other than dishonorable. So they say it not necessarily got to be honorable, but make sure you check that out. Now, these are the things that are on the DD-214. All right, family. They have general things on there. They're going to have the name, the rank, and the grade of the veteran when they got out the military, date and place of entry into active duty. This is very important because they have state cemeteries here in Texas. Let us know if they have any state cemeteries in where you're from. Put a Y for yes or N for no. And if you don't know, you can just put no. You say, I don't know. All right? Because they got several veteran cemeteries other than the federal cemetery. So they got them. MG Smith says yes. Let me put H down. Oh, this thing is horrible right now. It won't let me click. It won't let me chat, family. It won't let me double click. Okay, I won't be able to say. Let me see. Betty Bob say, do not know New York or Maryland. Okay. Curious, because they got state cemeteries here. They started doing this, I don't know when, but you can be buried in the federal or the state one. Now, that's why on your DD-214, your home of record is very important. Now, home address at the time you entered the military, the date and place of release from active duty, home address after separation, wherever you move to. Make sure all of that is correct on your DD-214. Last duty assignment, military job specialty or your MOS, and years of experience, military education. I know when we were over in what do you call that? We were over in Germany. We took a Head Start class that introduced us to German language, culture, and it was worth 1 college credit. So that should be on there. I think it's on mine. Declarations, medals, badges, citations, and deployments. Now this is important because this is how they're going to choose what medals or badges that can be put if you want one of them put on the grave. Let's say you got a good conduct medal. Let's say you have meritorious service medal. Let's say you have a Bronze Star or something like that, or Purple Heart. All of those things you can have it put on. One of them put on your tombstone. And they do have down here. They do have crematoriums where they can put the ashes in there too. Down here in Houston. Now, total credible service. I guess how many years you did it. Foreign service credit. Type of separation. That's the important. And character of service is the most important. Okay. Now let us continue, family. Now you need that DD-214 because that helped you get that flag. I remember the first time I saw the flag, my cousin's grandfather passed. we were young people, you know, it's like 1978, 79, and we were kids, and they hand that flag and they brought that flag all the way to the house. I'll never forget that. I didn't know he was in the military, but you know, he was in World War II. He's an older person. So I didn't know that. Now, this is what's key, family. This is what that helps with your VA benefits. The cause of death. I know on this is just a paper saying, listen, our sister in here, Black Ambrosia, how you doing, my sister? We talking about what to do when a veteran passed away and make sure all the paperwork together, they get the family get the benefits that they need, my sister. What's going on? Everybody say hi to our sister Black Ambrosia. Now, and they saying hi to my sister. Show some love. Now, so if you died, if you passed away from a service-connected disability, even if it's 0%, you get more, you get certain benefits. If you died away from a service-connected disability and you've been having it for less than 10 years and you're 100%, you get certain benefits. After 10 years, you can get it all. Now let's see what our sister say. She say, my dad's Muslim. Brother passed away always last week. He was a Vietnam veteran. Well, we want you to have this information, my sister, and Betty Bops have been through this here, and other people. We're learning as we go. For example, she was saying that her uncle was a Vietnam vet. One of the biggest things with Vietnam vets is developing prostate cancer because of Agent Orange, right? Let me get this over here. I ain't turning it on. So, if on that death certificate, remember it's important to have that on there, cause of death. If it was several things, you make sure you fight for them to put on there the prostate cancer or whatever service-connected disability. If they died of that, you push that doc, you call that coroner, and you let them know. Let's get this straight. And if you have a nexus is a connection between your prostate cancer and being a Vietnam vet, that's called a presumptive. It's automatic. So hopefully he had his benefits. Now our sister, they say hi to each other. Brother Kevin say hi to her. I'm gonna just click through him. And here we go. M.G. Smith said, H-Town, hypertension gets put on your death certificate. Okay, if you can connect that hypertension to that, yes. Now listen to what our sister say, Black Ambrosia. He was stage 4 prostate cancer. I hope he was getting his benefits, sister. If you need any help with your family, let me know. I'll get the information to you because they might be able to file a claim after the fact, even if he didn't file. I use a substitution, but they're doing certain things with the Vietnam veterans. They're giving them $1 million payouts, 500,000. So if anything, let us know. We'll do what we can to help. Thanks for letting us know this, sis. And we're praying for the family. Now, another thing that's important is birth certificates, as we said earlier. So this is documents. You need the veteran's birth certificate. If they have a spouse, their birth certificate. Any children that are dependents or grown children, birth certificate. Any helpless children, special needs, you can get paid as a veteran for them all the way through. And dependent parents. Did you know your parents could be dependents also? Come on, family. All them birth, get them birth certificate. Live births. Let's say your name ain't on the birth certificate, but your name is on something else. Tell them you be that baby daddy. I be the pappy ball. Now here we go. Betty Bob say Black Ambrosia, because we would help you, sister. Because I didn't know all this. Somebody contacted me that a family member had passed. So I said, we need to do this immediately. I've been putting this off. So I apologize to the whole family here. I should have done this a month ago, but I kind of lost track, and I apologize. Betty Bob say black ambrosia. You can get that put on the death certificate. You tell the funeral home that information, and they will get that information. Come on now. Then we got MG Smith says, H-Town, if you can get connected for hypertension, your wife will get benefits. We need to put that on the death certificate. If you're service connected for, whatever you're service connected for, if you pass of a service connected disability, or the side effects of that disability, right? The side effects, the secondary conditions that come from that, or if it's any way associated with that disability, right? Come on now, we gonna make this thing work. Yes, indeed, brother, you're right about the hypertension. Now, here's where it's important. Now, most of the time, it's not a big issue with women whose name is on the child's birth certificate. Now we're going back to the children, but you better make sure that daddy name on there, okay? Because if you're trying to get benefits for the child and their name ain't on that birth certificate, it might cause problems. Well, it will cause problems. Now listen to what Black Ambrosia say. I was told they said the official cause of death was pneumonia. He was being treated for the cancer, but they said it was complications with pneumonia. Well, if he'd been treated for the cancer weakened him, that made it more vulnerable to what? To pneumonia. Come on now. You telling me his system is being weakened, he's probably going through some type of treatment that's weakening him more. Y'all fight that. And I'm here for you, sister. I don't like them when they play these games. And go to that funeral home and tell them too. Get an outside doctor to look at it. Because they don't want these benefits. Somebody got stage 4 cancer and they're talking about, yeah, pneumonia, that is a complication of the other ailments that they have. Now with the dad of the child, make sure their name is on that birth certificate, right? And because you're going to have to show that if you're going to get benefits for the children, that is the father. Mama's babies, daddy's maybe. That's what my big mama used to say. Now, I know this is a somber subject, but we need to be prepared, and nobody else doing what we're doing right here. Make sure you have that Social Security card. That's going to be key also. Birth certificate, Social Security card, death certificate. Come on now, family. Are we breaking it down? The marriage license with dates. All right, that's very important because this is how it works. Can I tell you what it's really about? If you're married, if they married, the veteran married somebody, but they never got a divorce from the last wife or the wife before that, or the wife before that, the first wife get it, and the one he's been living with don't get none of the benefits. So if somebody told you that they divorced, nah, I need to go down to the courthouse before we get married. We need to do a search. That's when you need to use the FBI skills. Let me ask you something, Black Ambrosia. Are you like most women? Are you a private investigator, part-time private investigator? Do you know how to look up stuff? Most women are. Now, Betty Bob say Black Ambrosia. Still them and still in them, ask them to put the information on there. Funeral home can put that on the death certificate and talk to the funeral director. They would have more knowledge. Come on now. Now we got some, I don't know, it's Evan. Do yes. I don't know what that means. How you doing, Evan? What's going on? I don't know what do why means. Let us know what you mean by that. Okay, welcome to our channel. There, Evan, I go Evan. Okay. Now let us continue, family. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Oh boy, I didn't click it enough. Give me a second. All right, let's get there. All right. Oh, I think I remember you. He said, "Long time no hear, brother. What's going on, brother?" Okay. Now listen. Good to hear from you, brother. Black and Broder say, "I'm a claim investigator. I can definitely find someone out if I want to." Well, sister, on this channel, we need you for the trolls. I wonder you could help us and give us some of your knowledge here, because a lot of times we as veterans, I talk about this stuff, we don't know what to do a lot of times because the VA is very uninformed with us. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Evan Bitcoin. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. Now we've changed the rules, brother. We can't be talking about Bitcoin. You got to be talking constructive stuff because the trolls try to take over the channel. But we, Evan Almighty, I remember you now. So we got to we gonna be talking no repetitive stuff. But we appreciate that you back, my brother. Now Betty Bob says, I can tell you about my uncle and the wife and the girlfriend, and the wife shut down everything, down the house and the phones he had. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Now we getting a little too much. Hold on. Are you telling me that the wife shut down the phone for the side piece too? Come on now. What about the apartment he had in? Don't side piece get some benefits? No, y'all don't hit me upside the head. Now, and so he said, H-Town, do I need to take this? Take what? She got nothing. Wow. She got nothing. Hold on, who didn't get anything? Oh, the man say he left home to be with his side piece. Now, this the thing, no polygamy. The VA is not gonna recognize but one husband if you got more than one wife if you got more than one. So if you get married overseas, hold on. Oh, how y'all feeling about that? Hold on. Betty Bobs, that's kind of cold. The girlfriend got nothing. But what if the girlfriend was with him on his deathbed? What if the girlfriend was there? The side piece was holding down the fort while the wife was somewhere else. He had left the wife to be with his side piece. Come on, now listen with Black and Broach. I hear you. Black and Broach say, I remember as a little girl when the wife showed up to our place looking for mom. Whew. Man, you know what they say? It's a cold game out there. Brothers say, oh, that's cold-blooded. Damn shame. This is why it's so important. And we're glad that you're here, Evan Almighty. Evan, our brother. Now, this is how come side piece should have married him. Wow. And he should have divorced his other wife first. Here's what we're talking about, family. This is why we're getting into this here, because this is the mess that I've had to help at least 6, 7 veterans with. One veteran, a Hispanic Vietnam veteran brother, and some black brothers in there too, a couple of whites. Look, so this is all over racial, socioeconomic. Some people, they just don't get a divorce. They move on to the next person. And the one brother, he Vietnam brother, he looked young as heck. He had all them whites, but he looked like a young person. And he had with his current wife, he tried to put her on his benefits. And the VA said, no, you got about 4 wives. Since Vietnam, he had been marrying women. So he just break up with them. And they said, I got a divorce just because he heard them say that. That don't mean that's a divorce. So he had to divorce all 4 of them women before he could put his current wife on the benefits. Do we need that kind of chaos? Look what our brother, I read this one, he say, oh, That's cold-blooded, damn straight. Whoa, watch your mouth. Show now. Now, Kevin Cobar Sr. say side piece should have married him. Yeah, you did say that. Man, what y'all think about this here? No, you need to take care of your business. So who do you blame? Do you blame the veteran? Do you blame the side piece? Do you blame the side piece being a girlfriend? Do you blame the spouse that when he left, she should have divorced him? Or it's not her job to do that? Because now she coming in, she gonna rake up everything. How y'all feel about that? Who should get the payout? Look, listen, y'all want to hear me? One of my, he's a Vietnam veteran too. This man was good people with me. When he passed, his daughter and son, they wanted us to be there, and we showed up, right? Because we was in a little veteran group together. And his daughter and son is sitting there. They grown, they in their 20s and stuff. He got his current wife that he was he was in the middle of divorce with. He got the ex-wife, the one he had the 2 kids with. And he had a wife that he met before her. So all 3 of them in a row, right next to each other. Did you hear me? Because they were asking me, the children trying to ask me, later on, hey, what do we do? Because dad was divorcing her. They hadn't finished the divorce though. Everybody was trying to get they cut. Huh? Now listen, let's see. Betty Bob say, the wife even got the VA benefits, yes, because she had documentation. I bet you. Side piece blocked his wife for talking with him about divorcing my uncle. So that's what you get. Wow. I'm telling y'all don't know. See, tell them the truth, fellow veterans here. Tell the truth here. Tell them how much drama we have with military stuff. We ain't got to go into details. It's a real what they used to have like Peyton's Place. It's a real daytime drama, Sister Black and Broja, on a military base. Everything going on, sister. Huh? This man married to this woman, but they go over to the other house. They going over to the other house. The woman pregnant going over to the house, but she pregnant with the man, the other woman's husband. Man, wow. I've seen it all. Now, Kevin said, I blame the veteran. So you blame the veteran. Okay. Then MG Smith said, it's the veteran's job to take care of our business. Now, Betty Bob says, uncle was a Vietnam veteran. Okay. Okay, what about this family? Many times men don't want to go in no courtroom. Y'all know that. Come on, tell the truth. They don't want to go in the courtroom, and some of them don't want to spend no money. Huh? I gotta pay for a divorce. I just move on. But like you say, that's not handling your business. Now look what she say. So my uncle's wife asked me to look over her documents before we got the email and document. Everything was in order. Okay. See, this is why documentation is so important. Because let's say there's 4 marriage certificates. Follow what I'm saying. Marriage licenses. The one with the earliest date, that's the one get the bag. Did you hear what I said? And you earliest date and wasn't no divorce on that one. So let's say the first one was the earliest, but they can prove through a documentation of the divorce. Let me tell you what, man, I'll be telling y'all too much. One of my guys I helped get 100%. He was in the military about 17, 18 years. He did not retire. You follow me, family? So what happens? What happened with him? He got out, started another job, and he retired from that job. But you don't make but so much on his job. He had a state job. And I say, hey man, I saw him at He's such a good guy. His son played in the NFL. I ain't gonna say his name is because you know him most likely. Very good athlete. And I asked him. I said, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "You was in the military one." He said, "I'm retired." I said, "You was in the military?" He said, "Yes." I said, "You want to get your benefits?" He said, "Yeah." Give me a call. Now it took me about a year or so because he didn't have nothing. He had like a 10%, and because of that, he got out on a severance package. So they took that money back once he got it. He got 80% first, and then he got 100%. Guess what happened? And I didn't want this to turn into a drama thing, but we got to talk about this because when veterans pass, especially male veterans, we have a tendency of not handling our business. He married. He was married in the military. He got out. He married this woman. He'd been up 20-something years, and they got a daughter together. He had 2 children with the other woman he was married in the military with. Oh, my Lord. He got a divorce in the military. Through, I guess, the military or whatever. He didn't keep track of the divorce decree. So she came up about 5 years ago after he got his 100% and said, "Hey, I'm divorcing. We married, and I get half of what you got." After her money ran out of whatever else she doing for the last 20 years. So, nuh-uh. Well, we divorced. You were there when we got divorced. Well, prove it. This is what people do. They wait until you lose your documentation. Prove it. He didn't have nothing to prove it. So he had to get another divorce from her. They was trying to get his stuff, but nothing was in his name. It was all in his wife's name. Now follow me now. I don't know if he had heads up on it. I don't think so because he caught it. So she wanted his military retirement, but remember, they put him out 2 years before he retired. He had a shoulder problem. You know, it's racism. You know how they do black people. You know, I see white guys that look like a beach whale that they let make 20 years. So what I told him to do was, listen, if they talking about giving the military retirement, tell your lawyer, cool. He don't have no military retirement. So they gave her the option to get the military retirement. She couldn't get the VA, or she could have just said, "I want money," and it would have to come out of his VA of his other retirement. You know what happened? She said she didn't want his regular retirement. She didn't want his VA disability. She couldn't get it anyway. She wanted the military retirement. They said, "Okay, sign the paperwork." And then right after that, the lawyer say, "Well, he don't have no military retirement." So she gets nothing. But these are the chaotic situations that happens if you don't keep your documentation. And like we say, the veteran is at fault. Uh-oh, family, did you know that common law relationships that the spouse or the significant other can get benefits? So let's say, for example, Black Ambrosia, you and your man ain't married, but he's a veteran. I ain't trying to give you no game. I don't knocking me upside my head. And y'all don't even have a common law agreement, but y'all put each other out as you're his wife, and he say that's my he said that's my wife, and you say that's my hubby. Well, the VA can recognize that if you have proof with other people that y'all have lived as husband and wife, you don't even have to be married. They can get the benefits, but they can't be legally married to no one else. Did you know that? Go look it up and see. I covered that in several. Watch our thing on VA dependents. I'm telling you, family, the game run deep. Now, divorce is the end of the marriage, and if you don't end the marriage, you won't. Any other marriage after that is invalid. Now, that's why you need that divorce decree I told you that the brother didn't have. Keep the divorce decrees for each marriage. Certified copy. Now, let me ask you this here, family. What about if you're married overseas? Is that the same? I don't know if y'all know. What if you're married overseas? Marriage license, you better have that now. Because what if they let's say the person married somebody overseas, let's say in Germany or South America or anywhere, and then they come here and marry somebody in the United States, but then the spouse finds out overseas and come here and says, bam, I got a marriage certificate that's earlier than theirs, and you don't have no proof of divorce. Bam. Did you hear me? This game run deep when it comes to them funds. Now, listen to what I sister say. Yep. If you have made a public decree, listen to what my sister's saying, family. I learned this from the VA, and my sister backing it up here. She said, yep, if you had made a public decree that you were married and it was witnessed, then it's valid. That's how it is in Islam. Did y'all hear everybody show love to our brother coming to the house? Did y'all hear our sister just break it down? Now, Charleston said, H-Town, why you giving these ladies ideas? I'm sorry, man. I got to read the mail. Look, that's the hard part about it, family. I was talking about this with our brother Jason. Whoever come first, we got to give them the game. Sometimes dependents come here and saying, hey, my husband locked up and we ain't getting no money here. I say, file an apportionment. I got to tell them because they ask me, am I wrong? And then they're going to put money on his books most likely. He said, what did he say? We guys got to stick together. I know if you come to me first, brother, I'm going to stick with you. But I got to read the mail, man. I got to tell him what's up because I can't look. I like to talk, you know me. I saw it. Now listen what Betty Bob says, Charleston, hello. And then everybody saying hello. Did our brother say it's a cold game? Yeah, if they come to me on my channel, I answer questions. I can't stop answering questions. If Black Ambrosia come to me and ask me something, I'm gonna say, yeah. Am I breaking the man code? He say, hi family, I quit, but had to comment. I'm quiet. Okay. Betty Bob say, Black Ambrosia, I was going to come there to be I don't know what that is. Now, family, is this game deep? Estate planning, family, the last will and testament, the advantage of all the different things, all the power of attorneys. If you have that, you organize, you do that. But with the VA, a fiduciary dealing with the overrides that. Remember, you can have estate planning, but you better make sure they don't have no fiduciary, a military through the VA. Get all the stuff together. Last will and testament, family. Get all that stuff together. But they got something that'll override a will. Did you know that? Let's talk about it, family. Give me if anybody in here ever heard of this, a transfer on death deed. It's called a TOD, T-O-D-D. If you heard of it, give me a 1 in the chat. If you've never heard of it, give me a 2 in the chat. If you ever heard of a transfer on death deed, they got it in most states, family. Let us know. All right, we're gonna pull this up. Let us know, family. We want to know. Have you ever heard of a TOD? And how in the world can a TOD override a will? Is that possible? That can't be possible, can it? Come on, family. We're going to talk about it. See, we're going to give you quality information here. We're going to give you okay, Betty Bob has heard of it. Kevin have heard of a TOD, a transfer on death deed. I mean, Betty Bob and Kevin hasn't heard of it. Neither has MG Smith. That's why we here. You're going to get information that you're going to get nowhere else. I didn't know about it until about, 3 or 4 years ago, maybe longer. I just happened to come across it. And this is very important, family. And I want y'all to listen. We're about to watch a short video about it. So we really appreciate y'all coming here. Give me a chance to share the screen. Let me see what we got. Okay, why share? All right, let me get it. It's got commercials going on. So give me a chance. And we're gonna stop the music up in here. Now, family, this is why we're breaking it down. You need to know everything that's going on, because this is not just for veterans. This for anybody that passed, especially if you have a veteran in your family. This will be helpful for that also. Now, family, let me turn the music off because I want y'all to see, and we're going to go through this here. Give me a second. Turn the music off, and we're going to listen. It's a short, about 3.5 minutes, but this is the type of information that you need to hear, all right? So for the family, fair use. This is for educational purposes. And the link is in the description if you want to learn more about it. Now let's see what our brother said. H-Town question: is it the same marriage requirements like Social Security, 10-year marriage to get the dollars? Yes, it's a little different. It's 10 years with the VA, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But 10 years with the VA, follow me. Now check this out. You would have to have the condition for 10 years. And then it don't matter if you're 100% and you've had a condition paid at 100% rate for 10 years, you listening to me? It don't matter what you die of after 10 years, they're going to get paid. Now, they had to change it because they had these nurses and stuff, doctors marrying these veterans on their deathbed. So the spouse have to be married with them, I think, 1 year. So let's say you've had your 100% for 10 or 15 years, or you've had your service connection for 10 or 15 years. It could be 0%, but you're service connected for it. Guess what? If you had it over 10 years, they have to still been married with you for at least a year, because I'm telling you, they had them people marrying them on their deathbed. Ain't funny, but I'm just saying, wow. And they had no shame. Now, Betty Bob said, we got 9 watching and 8 likes. Okay. Our sister say, I'm a notary. I notarize religious marriages certificates. Oh, okay. I know that's interesting. Have anybody ever tried to come to you, Black Ambrosia, and they were trying to marry 2 people at one time? Let us know. Now, family, fair use. Let's get into it. Fair use. Let's get into it. We're going to unmute it. And while you're watching this, I may take my face off because they giving out good information.
Welcome to the video, Texas Transfer and Death Deeds, Information and Answers. This video is a general guide and may not apply to your individual case.
Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. And we got people here that's qualified. Our sister dealing with mortgages up there, Betty Bops. Then we got our sister Black Ambrosia, who's a notary. If y'all in those areas, I think you up in the Dallas area, y'all let us know. We don't have no problem promoting y'all business. Listen, just because other people act a little fool, we ain't got no problem promoting y'all. Y'all come on through. So he said you can hear good. Family, let me tell y'all something. We veterans, we got to stick together. So I ain't got no problem promoting your business. We gonna do what you do. Come on now. Let it be a legit business, dog. Don't y'all, but don't come with that bootleg stuff talking about you a bootleg preacher. So we got to do it, on the up and up. Make sure you have your credentials, because I'm gonna tell the people to verify with you, okay? Because I don't want them to get mad at me, because I tell everybody to verify. So they said Betty Bops and MG Smith said it's okay. But we want to know about y'all. So let us know if you like to promote. That's on you. Just let us know.
This video is not a substitute for legal advice. If you have questions, please consult a lawyer or visit www.texaslawhelp.org. Question 1. What is a transfer on death deed? As of September 1st, 2015, Texas law allows a person to transfer their ownership rights to real property located in Texas to a named beneficiary or beneficiaries without a will.
It's in the state of Texas. Let me get that up there. It's in the state of Texas. The property has to be in the state of Texas. And it's the house and the property that it sits on. It doesn't cover anything inside the house, family. So somebody can come there during the funeral and clean the house out. You understand? And they have similar ones throughout the United States. You say, well, why do this here? I got a will. He gonna get to it in a minute. So that's very important. Now let's see what our sister say here. She said, I never have, but my dad is a Muslim and he has always had 2 wives, my entire family. Okay, entire life. Wow. He was married legally through the courts to one and married through the mosque to the other. Wow. Now let's go. Now see, that's interesting. I like to know that. Now let's talk about this.
Without a will. This is done by using a document called a transfer on death deed, also known as a TOD. TODs are a simpler and more cost-effective way to give real property, such as your house or land, to someone when you die. TODs can only be used towards real property and not personal property, such as cars or jewelry. The TOD does not take effect until you die.
So understand something. It can't be used on the other content, what's in the house. It's just the house itself and the property. All right? Not the jewelry, not the furniture, none of that.
For example, you can still sell your house or get a loan with your house as collateral. The TOD does not affect any creditor claims on the property. You can still use a TOD if you have a mortgage or lien on the property, but your beneficiary will be given the property along with those debts.
So basically, even though you may leave the house to them, whatever loan, they're going to have to pick up on it. All right? Any debts, creditors you owe, credit cards and stuff, that's going to be leaned against the house, okay? Now listen what our sister say. I appreciate y'all. See, we got resourceful people in here, and we need to contact y'all. We need people like y'all around. I'm escrow, closing, and notary. I have to have the notary and title insurance producer license to be escrow closer in the state of Maryland. Let me ask y'all, see, people need to know that's in y'all area. We got 2 notaries in here. Now let us know if you're a notary public. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a notary, so we can kind of know if you don't mind. We won't know how many in here. So if somebody needs you in your area, they can get the help they need. Okay, Betty Bop's a notary.
When you die. Lastly, as of now, properties transferred through TODs are not subject to Medicaid estate recovery.
Okay, family, we got 2 people in here that's notaries. So if you need a notary and you in that area, you need to hook up with them. Our sister Betty Bops is in Maryland. Now that we don't mind you contacting each other. That's okay. That's all good. Then y'all can take it from there. But that's real business, so we know we handle business. Y'all ain't the problem. It's these trolls out here. All right? And I know Betty Bops get them trolls straight. And Sister Black Ambrosia will too. Now, listen what he said. Social Security recovery. What was he talking about? Let's break it down, family. What was he talking about? That you're shielded from Social Security recovery, Medicaid estate recovery. Let me explain. You follow me? My aunt passed. Before she passed, let me come up on the screen better than this, because I want y'all to hear what I'm saying. She passed a few years back, probably 2022. It's my oldest aunt. She had my cousin that passed. Her son passed before her. She had no other children. And so she wanted to protect the house in case something happened to her. And I say, well, Auntie, let me look into it. That's when I found out about this. And I say, well, this is good. So if you change your mind, that you can sell the house if you want to. And that's what she eventually did. But we had this TARD, this transfer on death deed set up in case she passed before then. I would get the property, right? So that's how we did it as a fail safe. So this is very important. Here's the thing. Here's where it becomes an issue now. My aunt sold the house. You follow me? By selling the house. If you have a family member that lives in a nursing home because of Medicaid or Medicare, or they getting that type of treatment, before they can go into one of them places, they go back 5 years and see if you just sold a house. And if you sold a house and they want the money. If you didn't sell a house, they want the house. They want you to sign it over to them. Did you know that? Did you know Social Security wants you to sign that house over? They go back by 3 to 5 years. You think I'm playing? Come on now. Now listen to what our brother say. He say, we have a 5-year rule in Pennsylvania. That property house can be taken for court action. House must be transferred 5 years before. I already sold my house last year to my daughter 4 years ago. Now, my concern is because my daughter is young. You know, I'd rather do something where I have it already transferred to her. But when they're young, they're going to be getting married and they're going to be, people could sue them for being in a car wreck. I don't want them taking all the stuff. So I want to protect it in a trust or something. I got a will now, but I need to update my will. 4 years, okay, to go, okay. Now, family, let us continue. Let's keep going on what we're doing here.
Estate recovery. Question 2. What if I have a will? If you also have a will, a tithe will trump the provision of the will related to the specific real property. This means whoever you name in the tithe will receive your property after you die.
So what it's saying is, if you have a will, nothing else is going to change but the house. So if in your will, the house goes to one person, but then you did a tithe and said the house go to another person, it trumps the will. Only dealing with the house and the property it sit on. Okay? Ain't that deep? Did you know that? So you could be walking around with a will from a family member and somebody else walks up with a tithe and say, hey, I get the house. You say, no, the will said this. Nope, the tithe overrides it. Who knew that? If you knew that, say yes. If you didn't, say no. Because we trying to educate you here. Because we don't want nobody doing something slick.
Not the person named in your will. Question 3. What if I'm married? If the real property to be given is community property, your tithe will only affect your share of the property and not your spouse's unless they file a separate tithe.
So that means if you married and y'all own the home together, right? And you get a tithe, but your spouse doesn't get a tithe, well, that part of the property go to whoever they want it to go to, or if they don't have no will, it's going to be divided among all the children. So let's say the dad want his half of the house to go to just one of the daughters. Let's say it's a daughter and a son. And he say, I want to go to the daughter, but the mom say, I want to go to the daughter and the son, or she just don't file a will. That means the son gonna own how much of the house? 75% of it. He own half of the house plus a half half of the house with his dad through the Todd, and 25% from his mom, and the sister owned 25%. Does the game get deep here, family? So Betty Bob say yes, Charles say yes. See, some people are very familiar because I think they started these transfer on death deeds up in that area. And MG Smith say no. Now let us continue, family. We're over halfway through.
Question 4. How do I get a transfer on death deed? A person filing a TOD can name whomever they want as a beneficiary. They can also name multiple beneficiaries and alternates. The beneficiary does not have to sign the TOD, nor does he even have to be notified. He does not have any control over the property until you die. The TOD becomes effective when it is filed with the county clerk's office where the property is located. It must be filed prior to your death.
So what we did with my aunt, me and my aunt went up there to file the TOD, and before she passed, and they sent a copy back to my house, and it was in effect until she sold the house, right? So you still have a right to sell your house at any time. All right. And I'm going to tell you something else. Let me tell y'all something else that's very important. Let me tell y'all something. When we were in there, this is why it's important to have notaries. Oh, we doing good. Betty Bob say we got 12 likes and 7 watching. That's good, family. I know people may come in and out because they come in. We glad that you're here. Now listen. Come on, let's talk about it, family. If I remember what to talk about. When we went in there with the lawyer doing the TOD, it don't cost but a couple of $100. Did y'all know that? And the lawyer and the notary play their part. That's why it's good that we have notaries in part of our group here. Notaries are very important. So what happened, the lawyer talked to me and her, you know, how when she told me to step out. But when we was talking, they asked about all her brothers and sisters. Well, my aunt, my mother being one of them, had a lot of brothers and sisters, 9 of them. And and a few was deceased at the time. I know my mom was, right? I think she was the only one. Well, she's the third that had passed. It was 3. So that means 6 was left. And that lawyer told me to list all of them out, all of the brothers and sisters. And the way they wrote it up was like this. The way they wrote it up, it was like this. That she wrote on there, she said, this is my brothers and sisters, list them all, and I have nephews and nieces, but I still want my property to go to my nephew, H-Town. Now, brothers say, and so we asked the question, why is that? She said, when people die, the claws come out. And they'll say, yeah, my sister wanted me to have it, but she just forgot to mention me. And this is to keep it from being held up in probate court. You understand? Yes, indeed. Now, Brother Charles say $350,000 for the sale, sold to my daughter $1. How long? How long? You looking for any more dependents? Now listen to what her sister say here. The notaries are the neutral person. So when we got through, she talked to my aunt to make sure that I wouldn't, I guess, coercing her. She talked to her for a long time, make sure that's what she want to do. Then the notary came into the office and they filled out. That's why it's important to have a notary. That way, that's a legal document. Y'all don't know how powerful these notaries are. The notaries are the neutral person. Yes, they're not getting paid like the lawyers getting paid. That they don't have no interest in the property. That's why the notary came in there. She sure did. You just taught me something, Betty Bobs. Now let us continue.
Question 5. Can I cancel my transfer on death deed? Yes, you can file a cancellation prior to your death. Your cancellation will only affect your share of the property if there are other owners. Question 6. After I die, how does my beneficiary get ownership of my property? After your death, your named beneficiary must file a form called an affidavit of death with the county clerk's office where the tithe is filed.
That's why it's so important to have the death certificate. All right, not just for the VA stuff.
Later, if the beneficiary would like to sell the property or take out a loan, he will need to provide proof of the death, such as a death certificate, to the title company.
I didn't know that part. That
If you have
last,
any other questions, contact.
I didn't know that part. My Lord, I didn't know. Okay, that was a new one. I didn't know that part. But you got to live 5 days after the person in Texas. So you better not go to nobody's house and eat. Huh? They know you get in the house, you have to live 5 days past the person that leaves you the house. Huh? Let's talk about it. Now, family, let us continue here. We've covered that. Now, 3 cancellation. If somebody passes, you need to cancel some things. Can y'all think of anything? I'm gonna get to it, but see if y'all think something in the chat that what needs to be canceled if a veteran passes or anybody passes. What should you cancel? I'm gonna start going. Close bank accounts. Come on, family. Whatever the bank accounts are, you know what you can do. I know Navy Federal Credit Union does this, where you can have the account set up that when you pass, it automatically goes to who you want it to go to. So it's good to set that up like that, because if not, it's gonna be hard for them to get to the funds. Close the bank accounts that's in the deceased name. Now, open up a new bank account with the funds, because you might be the, what do you call that? The fiduciary, the person handling everything. And look what our brothers say: credit cards. Get all them credit cards. Come on, fam. Are we talking good talk right here? Kevin, thank you for that, brother. Now, cancel or transfer utilities. This is where it gets ugly. Where it got ugly in my family. So my great grandmother passed, and just like my mom, my great grandmother had 9, and my grandmother had 9. So my grandmother moved in the house. Everybody else had their own house. She lived next door in the other house, but she moved in the grandma house. And one of the other aunts cut the utilities off, and she, I didn't get in the middle of, sibling stuff. We talking about people in their 50s and 60s at the time, 60s at the time. So I didn't get in the middle of it. Some of my uncles started to ask me some stuff, and I say that's between, your sister and y'all. I'm not in the middle of that. I said I'm just a child here. I was a grown man, but I love all of them. I wasn't getting in the middle of that. Now listen what he say here. Listen what our sister say. Navy Federal Credit Union already know mother has passed on the 3rd day and closed the account and put all the funds into my account and open up a new account for me. Did y'all have something set up prior to your mother passing? Let us know, Betty Box. Now, but when it comes to your gas, your water, Wi-Fi, electric, whatever, heating, you need to make sure you get that. But this is a traumatizing time. I understand. Now let us continue. Subscriptions. Have any of you ever thought about that? Make sure you have subscriptions. But to do that, you need to have the passwords. I need to update all my passwords. When my daughter have access, she can close things out, or handle it from now. Internet. Anything on the internet, close the internet or transfer it out. What I did with the utility, I put my daughter's name on the gas already, so she don't have to pay a deposit if I die. I need to do that with the water too. I haven't done that yet. That way, she'll already be on most of the stuff. Unless, did y'all hear me? Come on stream. Unless H-Town fall in love And say forget his daughter. I found me a boo thing. She say she gonna make sure you get your part when I pass. That's okay, ain't it, baby? You think my daughter gonna fall for that? Now listen to what Betty Bob say. We we had a joint account for 30 years. The know my mom had passed away 3 days. The Navy Federal Credit Union had contacted me. They were already nice about it. That's good. They were really nice about it. That's a blessing. Come on now, family. I know this is hard, but we gotta talk. He said, "Yeah, right, H-Town." He ain't buying my game. He's a Marine. He ain't buying none of my talk. Huh? I might fall in love again, y'all. And she gonna promise me she gonna make sure my daughter have a place to stay. Huh? She said, I wouldn't do I love your daughter like she's my own. I said, I understand. Hmm. Now, email accounts. Close out those email accounts also. Let me get this music back popping. What else? Subscriptions. All subscriptions to Netflix, Hulu, all that stuff. So have all of them written down. Now listen what he say at H-Town. Your daughter ain't going for that now. I hope she ain't watching this live stream. I hope she ain't watching this live stream. I'm gonna tell her, baby, I'm in love. I'm a grown, I'm the parent. How she gonna treat me like a child? I got feelings. And she told me, she said I could trust her. You know. In all your social media, make sure that you got access so nobody else can hack in there and start using it, that they close all that out. Now listen to what excuse me, family, what Betty Bob says here. She says, H-Town, when my father passed away, VA, no, they knew about it. Okay. Already that was 2 days when I was trying to get his card information for the funeral home in the Bronx, New York. Who you think tells the banks and the VA? So they get learned. You think Social Security won't tell them? Now listen what he says. Brother Charleston says, H-Town, I would keep the utilities in your name because I'm a squatter now in my house. Still paying property taxes here in PA. I'm legally a squatter. Now let me ask you this here. You sold that house for $1. What you do with that $1? Huh? How did you spend that $1 your daughter gave you for the house? And that's kind of bad businessman now, bro. You didn't make too much of a profit. I know it's worth way much more. Come on, talk to us, brother. Now, so make sure that you do that. Make sure. And what Brother Charleston done, he's got it where his daughter don't have to go to probate. Because you have to go to probate. Here's the thing. What's real important is to understand whenever there's a will, the will have to be probated. So if it's 3 kids and they get along and they never probate the will, who's saying that the grandchildren are going to get along? It'll create chaos. So you want to get all that sort of rectified. Now listen to what Betty Bob say. She said, yes, it was Social Security send all that information. That is better than social media or the 6 o'clock news. Let this man, he say, still waiting for the buck. You didn't get your dollar from your daughter. Tell her you want your funds and you still paying property tax. Tell her this is unfair. Now I'm gonna get messy, family. Can I get messy? How many of you, why you didn't just get a reverse mortgage? Who heard? Do y'all think reverse mortgages are a scam? Let us continue. Tell me what y'all think. They had some big time actors talking about it, so it must be legit. Now, Instagram. Get rid of Instagram. If you got it, all of them, you got a lonely fans, get rid of it. Or let your family take over. YouTube. I'm gonna have it set up where either my daughter keeps the channel going. I think she's gonna keep it going, but I need to make sure she has access to everything. I'm gonna put her as one of the co-people. Direct deposits. Any direct deposits going into the bank, they need to be canceled and transferred to another account. Then safeguard valuables. Oh, we getting messy with it, y'all. Now listen what our brother says. Oh, both of them. He said, yes, reverse mortgages are a scam. Now let's see what Brother Charleston. Reverse mortgage is a scam only if no children. Let me ask you this here. Why do y'all think that? Because they can take your house away. They can take your house away if you don't keep it up. If you don't, one lady, she had got something fixed, the plumbing, and they said she didn't took her house, and she showed she had the plumbing fixed for 6 months. Now let's say reverse mortgage is great that you are not trying to give a house in a will. Okay, so what do? They pay you up front. So let's say y'all, look, before we get to say, now this is interesting. I'm enjoying the way this conversation is going. Hold on, give me a second. Now, so some people say it's a scam, but then our sister Betty Bob say, if you don't have a will, it could be a good thing. Now, listen, MG Smith said, my dad is 86 Air Force veteran, reverse mortgage. He has to stay in the house or they will take it. Now, hold on. Let me ask you this question. If your dad get to feeling bad, can he move with you? And one of y'all can't move in there. Is that right? Now, listen what our sister say. She say, if you are planning to leave your home to your daughter, be sure to put the home in a trust. I will do that. And make her the trustee. This will bypass probate court, which is expensive and a long process. Well, I'm gonna do a trust. I gotta do a trust anyway. Because my niece gonna be doing. I'm gonna do something with that too. But I'm gonna leave it to my daughter. But I'm gonna have her blessed in there some kind of way too. I gotta look out for the young guns, cause they ain't nothing affordable out here. Shoot. Thank you for that information, MG Smith, Black Ambrosia, Betty Bobs, Charleston. Do you see how you're helping other veterans and other people that are not veterans? Because a lot of people that are not veterans watch the program. People I know. Now, let us continue, fam. Now, what's next? Safeguard the valuables. What should be done? Come on, I need y'all help, family. If I pass, I'm only dealing with my daughter and my niece. All the older people pass. All the other knuckleheads I don't deal with. I got thousands of family members here. They kind of hate on me, because I guess, just hate on me. I used to go visit them, but after a while, I said, well, they ain't never come visit me. I'm going to just stay to my house. They never show up. They'll say hi when they see me. They say, you live way out there. Where I say, when I'm coming to see you, isn't it way out here? Now look what they say, protect yourself first. The man is not a friend, okay? The man is not a friend. Protect yourself first. So, thank you for that, brother. What should be done, family? I want all y'all to give me some insight. If I pass, what should be done? Should they notify everybody? Hey, He is Pat. Then everybody gonna love him, but then they gonna flood, come run over to this house, seeing what they can get. What I told my daughter, don't tell nobody nothing. I ain't fooled with them people. I ain't talked to them people in years. I ain't never done nothing to them, but just let them find out years later down the path, because I don't want them stressing my daughter or my niece out. You understand? And that called for me to be like that, because I want them to get all their stuff together first. Go put me in that veteran cemetery and go and give me a red. Well, I did say I did want the casket that has the sunroof. You know, I want to be able to see. Huh? I want it waterproof, and I want, I want that diamond tuck inside the casket. You know what I'm saying? And that last little VA check just slide it in there with me. Huh? Am I asking for too much, family? So what are you to do with the valuables? How? Because people come in while you at the funeral, they'll come clean your house out. You know that? I've known people to pull U-Hauls up. So protect valuables, family. Documents. Important documents, because they'll try to get that DD-214 and they'll try to run the things. They'll come in there like they're grieving. I got to go to the restroom. Well, why you got to go to the restroom that's in the bedroom? Go to the one out here. Watch them, especially people that have money. Let me tell you something, especially the ones that got 2 or 3 homes. Sometimes they the greediest. I know that sounds crazy, family. I'm not trying to dig on the wrong side of, human nature, but I'm telling you what it is. Betty Bob says, H-Town, no, it's not cold. People will come out the woodwork when you pass away. Can I tell y'all something? He was a chief warrant officer 4 when I was in the military. We went to church together, on the base. And he was wearing a ring. I said, that's a beautiful ring. Where did you get it from? He said, my father. I say, why? He wanted me to have it, but I put it on him at the funeral. You follow what I'm saying? And I say, so how you end up with it on you? He said, a man came up to the funeral talking about he'd been knowing my dad all his life. And he walked up and said he always wanted me to have that ring. I said, well, I guess that didn't go well. No, it did not. He said, no, you can pay your respects, but you're not touching that ring. And he said, you know what? I should have did what my father said and kept the ring. You get what I'm saying? How can you come up a stranger, walk up talking about what they entitled to do? Let me ask you something, Black and Brosia. You know who your brothers and sisters are. What if a long lost sister or brother show up? Are you going to break them in too? If your daddy bless you with something and they say, well, we found out there's another one out there, are y'all all going to give them some of it? Let us know. I told my daughter, I say, if any little half German Black kids come over here, are you going to break them off something? She said, Dad, anything you want to do for any other children, you need to specify that in your will. Now, what my daughter telling me? Why she can't respect my wishes? She said, if it ain't in writing, I'm not doing it. Now, listen what our sister say. Put all your assets and bank accounts into a trust. I will do that. It can't be challenged, and the estate attorney will ensure everything your estate in your will is carried out. Okay, let me ask, do I do a revocable trust or irrevocable trust? Let us know. Now, we just giving information. This is not legal advice. Just we informing each other from our experiences. Now, Charleston says, H-Town, you will see more friends passing more than you have now. Oh, so when I'm gone, there's all kind of people gonna show up. Now look, oh Lord, Black and Bro say, Betty, the vultures come out when you die to scavenge. Oh Lord. Now listen what say, she She said if they listed on the estate documents, I don't have anything for them but stories of our dad. If they not listed, whoa, that's a cold game. Black Ambrosia, I always thought you to be a sweet person. What if they come to you and say, look, I got a DNA test. Don't you want to break me something off now? Mm, mm. And what if they never mention? What if they just found you and say, I just found out after the funeral, I didn't know before. It's a cold game, huh? Black Ambrosia says, this is half, this is half of the story. My cousin on my father's side of my family was trying to claim my mother's co-op apartment. Wow, in New York, right? Y'all don't know them co-op apartments. That's wow. Wow. You don't own a co-op, you give back the keys. Okay. Wow. That's heavy, a cousin. Now, Betty Bob say, you just pay now 96,000 deposit. You'll get it back if the place is not messed up. Oh, 96,000. Hold on. 96,000. Yeah. Man, that's almost $100,000. So secure your documents. Secure your property. Secure your valuables. And when I say documents like deeds of trust or the deed to the house, because they got people that's fraudulently write the deed over. So go down and check. Every year you need to check on your deed to make sure somebody ain't fraudulently act like you sold it to them. Now, what my daughter say, she said even the tools and stuff. She said whatever here, she's not getting it to nobody. I said, okay, what you gonna do with them? Yeah, but that's not nothing to do with me no more, is it? Hold on. Now, number 5, notifying the VA. We got one after this. Family, she said, hold on, let me see. Okay, I read everything. Okay, now remember, you need to report to the Veterans Benefit Administration, the Veterans Cemetery Administration, of course, because there's certain benefits you get, especially if they're disabled. Now, they will give you a marker if you're not a disabled veteran, just a regular veteran. They give you a marker and a few other things, maybe $1,200. I forget what it was. Now, and now, let me tell you this here. If they die because of what happened in a VA hospital and it's malpractice, you can file a suit against the VA hospital and get benefits for that. Did you know that? Malpractice, we covered that in the types of claims. Now, if they're a disabled veteran, and check Black Ambrosia, see if your uncle was disabled, they have a burial and plot allowance of $2,000, regardless of the rating, 0 to 100%. And the spouse and sometimes the children can get their own VA home loan. Did you know that? Now, if the spouse remarry, I think they don't qualify for it unless they get it before they remarry. And if they remarry after 57, they may have changed that rule recently. I forget. If they remarry at 57, they can still get the loan. Also, make sure they don't have any. Check on all the life insurance policies. Remember, it could be the SDVI Life, or it could be VA Life. That's the new insurance that they have. And I got SDVI Life Insurance. That's the one that's grandfathered in. Now listen to what Betty Bob said and see if they have any other life insurance policies. Because my grandmother had a policy for everybody. My grandmother left me some money. That's how I got the blinds in my house, because I was trying to give it to my aunt for the funeral and stuff, but my grandmother had all that covered and she kept talking crazy. So I said, okay, I'll just put it on the house so I have something to remember. I got the blinds up here right now. Wood blinds. I think of my grandmother all day. Next year be 2000, 2000 and 2026 will be 20 years. He died in 2006. Ooh, I miss Carter May. I miss my mama. I miss my granddaddy, my great granddaddy, my great grandmother. Ooh, H-Town, that's the Bronx, New York, including nursing aid, was trying to squat what in my mama's house. Did you go over there and go up there and handle business, sister? Did you go straight Bronx on her, huh? Or did you go straight Queens on her? My mother had not passed away 24 hours. The nurse's aide was trying, already asking me to, what are you going to do with your mother's place? Whatever. I mean, people. He says, Charleston say, H-Town, yes, report to the secretary, Doug Collins, will give sympathy. I am so sure. Doug Collins say he don't care. He said, I'm going to come out the back end. Now, Betty Bob say, I have to go to the circuit court to get the paperwork to turn in the keys. So this must have recently happened, Sister Betty Bob's. Condolences, okay? I didn't know, because you saying it's still in process. Condolences, my sister. Now, this is a very important document you need. Award letter. This is one of the simple where you can find out what their percentage was, and that will dictate what benefits that the dependents will get. So get that award letter, and it'll show if they're 10, 20, 100%, whether it's permanent total or not. That's really key, because depending on what the rating is. Now, one thing you need to do, stop that VA disability check. They're going to give you the month of death check. They give you the one for the month that they died. But the one after that, you need to stop them, because they're going to, once they find out when they pass, they're going to want all that money back. If you keep getting it, and that's the same with Social Security. There was a woman, her mom died in 1986, you getting Social Security, and around the 80s, mid-80s. And her mama told she wanted her to keep getting the check. Okay, her mama made her told that, but she wasn't here no more. So when they started noticing Social Security that the woman was 130 years old, they did something about that. They come back and ask, and she had to go to jail for a while. This woman had been married, her and her husband about 40, 50 years, and the children were grown, but she had to do a little time in jail behind it. Now, so my mom passed away in 2022. So the process is a long process. I hope everything work out where they give you whatever the deposit is. This is amazing. I'm not too familiar on how that works with the housing thing, but I've heard of it. So cancel that check. Now, you need to make sure you have that decision letter. Why is the decision letter important? Because it shows what they are eligible for. So, in addition to the award letter, they make sure they have their decision letter in place. Nobody else, no other YouTube channel gonna tell you this. It'll show if the dependents are eligible for CHAMP VA or Dependents Educational Assistance, whether 100% or whatever. You need to know the latest one, okay? Just like a marriage certificate, the latest one, the decision letter. Watch our video. Then the notification letter. Watch our video on this. We break it all the way down like nobody can. What Keith Sweat say, nobody does it like me. Now, if there's a claim in process, some of you, I've told this before, some might know, you can have a VA claim substitution. So if certain claims, if it's already in process, all you have to do is be substituted in the claim. So let's say they're going for a certain percentage. They 70% going for 100 in the veteran pass. All they have to do is be substituted. They used to say, the VA tell people, nah, it's over with. No. Claim substitution. Don't forget that, okay, family? So basically when the veteran passed away, the dependent is substituted into the claim, being the spouse, maybe even the children, it depends, but definitely the spouse. Now, she says, Betty Box H-Town, these days, Social Security will cut you off the next check. You will not get that check next month. The Social Security come back and took the money out of my father's account. Woo! It's a cold game out there. It's a cold game out there, family. Come on now. Betty Bob say Social Security gave me half of my mother's check. They didn't give you the whole check. They cold game. So remember, you are being substituted in for the veteran. So if y'all ever need any help with that, when a family member passed, and let's say it's a spouse, we got you. Now let's say they're in the process of the claim where they, sometimes you have to get the examination. All right. So let's say they filed and they haven't had no exam yet, no decision. So you're going to tell them to make a decision with the evidence that they have in hand because they didn't do the exam. Okay. Now we got our brother Chief Z4U in the house calling out of Cali. Say hello, everyone. Great topic, H-Town. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. I know people like to talk fast and they be babbling on stuff. We gonna give you the information because I know what I'm talking about here. This is my pleasure. And there's an example of right up there on how to request an update on your claim. All right. And so if you need to request an update, that's the first option without an exam. If you haven't taken the exam yet, and plug your information in there. Come on now. Now listen what Betty Bob say. Well, hello, Chief Z4U. Don't forget to click that like button. You know it's good. And MG Smith says, Chief 4UZ. And then Charleston Zimmerman say, H-Town, you told the man is cold. Even before you pass. Huh? What's that? You the man is cold even before you pass. Yeah. I told him don't tell nobody that I passed. I say when they come that heat on you, I say this happened. I ain't dealing with none of them anyway. I don't want them stressing my daughter out or my niece, Betty Bob say 13 watching and then 12 likes. Good job, family. Now, that's with no exam. But let's say the veteran before they pass, they hadn't got a decision, but they have taken the exam. This is what you need to do if you are the dependent and a veteran pass. You need to get a copy of that exam. Because they give you a decision and say, oh, we deny it. You need a copy of that exam. As soon as it's done, that's why you need that death certificate. You need your birth certificate. While all this stuff is in process with the claim, you need to be establishing that you are the dependent, huh? You say, well, what document can I show that I'm a dependent of a disabled veteran? Come on, H-Town got all the answers. But this is what let's say they had completed the exam, but no decision is done yet. Come on now. Because listen, I want y'all to follow me. Let's say the veteran had no rating. Follow me. Meaning no service connection at all. And they got between 10 and 90%. Well, all the dependent spouse gonna get is the back pay. Because if it ain't 100%, they won't be getting nothing every month. You get me? Tell me if you're following me. If it's between 10, because you don't get paid nothing at 0%, that's non-compensatable. But if it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90%, they're going to give you whatever the back pay was. If you get paid 100, if the veteran receives 100% after they pass, now that's when the benefits come in. Let's follow. Can we talk, family? Tell me if that makes sense. Who else told you that? Huh? I know it's low funding when I went to school. So depending on where they are in the claim process, okay, you might have to present more evidence. So make sure you got the evidence of your significant other. And here at the H-Town Vet, we will help you. And if you're just waiting on a decision, waiting on an update, let's go with it. We can help. We'll tell you, steer you in the right direction. So let's say if the VA claim is approved. All right. And it could be between zero. If they get a 0%, you can't file for no increase. You got to stick with that. And that's non-compensatable, but it might be some benefits for the family other than that because they're a disabled vet. But if they get, like I say, between 10 and 90%, they're going to get the back pay, but no money past that. That's going to be it. All right. If they get that 100%, oh, that's a game changer, regardless of what type of 100% it is. All right. Remember, there's 4 types of 100%. There's a temporary 100%, like if you get a knee replacement, you have prostate cancer, and then they have the prostate removed. What happens? They pay you for the residuals. Now, so they'll reduce your, but at this point, if you are 100% temporary or you're 100% permanent total, the second one, you 100% IU or 100% TDIU, it don't matter whether it's temporary or permanent, there's certain things you can get. Now with the permanent ratings, you're only going to get certain things though, that is exclusive to a permanent rating that you won't get with a temporary rating. And we're about to go over that if the veteran passed. Are we counting the money today? Come on, family. So it matters if that veteran gets 100% rating, is it permanent or not? Or is it temporary? This is very important. Now with temporary ratings, now it don't matter because now it's locked in at the 100% rate. All it matters is if they're getting paid at the 100% rate. When if they already passed, it's 100%. So you still qualify for some things. All right. We know when we talking about temporary 100% or IU, which is individual unemployability. They can still qualify for dependent indemnity compensation, the monthly payment. But remember the requirements. What did we say? They had to die of the service-connected disability or had it for at least 10 years. Because once you get 10 years with service connection, it don't matter what you pass up. That's why that death certificate is so important. And right now it's like $1,653.00. Now understand that and 7 cents. I'm sorry, $1,653.07. My email just clicked and threw me off. Now check this out. They don't get the full check. So veteran get what, depending on the veteran, just the veteran themselves, they get what, about $4,000. And then you have dependents that might be up to $5,000-$6,000. If you got other stuff, we're gonna talk about it. All right. But the dependent spouse, and it's tax-free money. Dependency indemnity compensation, and the monthly payment would be $1,653, not the full check of the veteran disability payments. Now, if they getting special monthly compensation, I think that the spouses can get special monthly compensation. I think they can get it too. And they can also get housebound. I know the spouse can get that, especially if the veteran is 100%. Now, and also aid and attendance, family. Now, let's talk about if it's permanent. He said, evening, Chief Z for you. Now, let's talk about if it's a permanent rating. Now, they get a little more extra. They get the DIC death benefit. All right. And they also get, and their dependent children, whether if they're, and the permanent ratings are total disability, individual unemployability. That's one permanent rating. And then there's 100% permanent total, which is another type of permanent rating. With those, this is how it works. The dependents, the children until their age 23, they get Champ VA healthcare, unless they got TRICARE. I think TRICARE for life or certain things. They can get it longer if they're going to school, but the spouse get it up to a certain age, like until they qualify for Medicare or something like that. So that's a set. That's a set thing. That's if they're 100% permanent total, because you only get CHAMP VA, the dependents, if the veteran was permanent and total, either TDIU or 100% permanent total. And that also goes for the educational benefits. Okay, that's the same thing. And if you're going full time right now, it's 1,536. I think it's went up from that. They keep increasing it. Now, there are certain state benefits. That's why it's good to have an honorable discharge and get your discharge upgraded, because at the state level, this is not federal, they're going to want to know. And every state has some, almost every state has some type of benefit for veterans, if not all. In Texas, look, I had 20 here. Go watch our video on it. Now, I'm gonna give one example because I ain't gonna go all the state over all the state benefits. I'm just going over one. If you're 50%, now did y'all know this here? Black Ambrosia. Now Black Ambrosia, don't leave your man looking for a military guy. You got to sleep with one eye open if you got PTSD. Look, I used to hop up in the bed with no hands. And my ex said, "You have one of them dreams again?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "How you jump up without it using your hands?" I don't know. I was asleep. Now, surviving spouses can get disabled vet place. It's called Surviving Spouse Disabled Veteran. So they can ride the tollways for free, park in certain handicap if you got a placard, and or certain parking downtown, and airport parking, just like the disabled veteran could. So that's why you need to have your paperwork read together. Come on, family, we're doing it, ain't we? Now, the last thing is the resource. I can't think of the name of the place, but there's a resource. Let me see, can I pull it up here, family? Because I didn't put it in the slideshow, and I do apologize. Oh boy, I had to put this thing. I won't be able to find it now. Let me see if I can find it. There goes Survivor Kit. Okay. Let me click this here, and I'll tell you the name of it. I apologize for not putting this slide in there. Nah, it ain't gonna be in here because I got it from somewhere else. But there are several resources for surviving spouses and surviving family members. So make sure we'll go over that. We'll go into detail about that on another one. Surviving resources. We're gonna go into a lot of detail. Not just talking about, we talk about the burial and everything tonight. So resources. When a veteran passed, their family is left behind. Contact the VA. Okay. Contact the DAV, the American Legion. They can help you with the process. They familiar with it. So call veteran service officers, contact the VA, and have start getting that paperwork started. Now he said he almost lost me 2 years ago when I went to a margarita ball. There were tons of Marines waiting to whisk me away. I was very tempted. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Look, she almost got took up by one of the military. And the Marines, they all show up, their uniforms, they look. He don't never let you go to no balls no more. At least not by yourself, does he, Black Ambrosia? Tell the truth. He said, when you leave the house, he said, "Where you going? When you gonna be back?" Now let's see what he said. So that disabled plate, can it be chick magnet for the ladies for benefits? Yes. I had a beautiful young lady, and I'm telling you, she was stunningly beautiful. This young lady looked like I forget her name. She was gorgeous. What's that? Vanessa. What's her name? Vanessa Williams. Oh, this girl was beautiful. And she had to ask me, what do those plates mean? I got them because I get to ride the tollway free. But it can get you a chick mag at a Target, but you don't want to be playing. You don't want to be playing tempting people with these benefits because you can end up in a world of hurt. Huh? Huh? Did you hear me? Please understand, it ain't nothing to play with to be teasing people with your benefits. Can I tell it? Is it story time? Can I tell a story? Let me get. Oh Lord, I'm gonna tell a story once we get through this part. And it said better about say Charles Zimmerman, only you. He's a chick magnet. Yeah, you the chick magnet, bro. So other things you need to notify is the funeral home. Let them know that they're a veteran. Let them know the branch of service. The funeral home is a resource. They deal with different veterans benefits. Betty Bops laughing and say, okay, shipmate Betty Bops. Man, I'm enjoying y'all family. Look, we're gonna be able to open up and do more stuff. We working on these trolls, and once we get it, we ain't letting them stop us, but they ain't through with us because they don't like that they not the center of attention. And you say, that's right, shipmate. That's what they call each other in the Navy. Okay, shipmate Betty Bops. They call each other shipmate. Now go to them as a resource and tell them come to this video. Give me a thumbs up if this video has been informative enough to you. Let me know. Uh-oh, here we go. These are some of the forms that you can fill out. All right. Remember some of the things we look at the information. I hope it's not too blurry, but it talks about where you can get all the VA forms. You can go on VA insurance. Okay, Betty Bob say, it's been pretty good. That's what I need to hear. Look on the right. These are the different VA forms. One for the DIC death benefits. Remember, dependency, indemnity compensation. When you get about the money, if they're 100%, you can get the $1,600 a month, probably because they should Social Security too. And the dependence application for educational benefits, the Chapter 35, and the VA home loan guarantee. Look, everything I'm saying. Champ VA healthcare insurance, application for the burial benefits. These are the forms right here, family. State application for internment allowance. That's that internment allowance we talked about. Okay, putting them to rest. Claim for standard government headstone and marker. I'm showing you all the forms right here. I hope they're clear. Now let me know if the forms are clear. If they're clear enough to see, put a yes in the chat. All right, now the application for United States flag for burial purposes, but you have to have that D214 to get that now. Okay. Now most of this here, application for pre-need determination of eligibility for burial at a VA national cemetery. So they got one down here. I want to be buried on Bramall. I'm gonna go up there with my daughter, and we're gonna take pictures with both my daughters. Take pictures. I'm gonna lay on the ground like so they can have fun when they come back. They say, "Oh, he in here now," but he used to joke about being here. Now let me explain something to you, family. Can we talk? Family, let me finish up the different forms. I want to say a couple of things. I hope I didn't forget that first story. Then claim of death benefits, the insurance, SGLI, what we talked about. Didn't I cover all this here? Servicemen, some other form, beneficial designation of beneficiary, claim for one sum payment. So like that last payment on the last check. Now she says the funeral home will give you a wealth of information that you need. Yeah, they will give it to you because we want to hear from you too, sister. Now listen, my buddy I grew up with, he was in the Navy. His daddy was in the Navy. His daddy served, I want to say during World War II. He had him when he was, older. So check this out. His mom passed. They buried her in the cemetery ground over here where I'm from, off Bramall, the National Cemetery. Then they buried the daddy. He passed, but he had married another woman. They buried her on top of him. Y'all hear me? So how many spouses and wives, they can all be buried in the same grave. How y'all feel about that? Because he didn't like the fact that they buried the other woman where his mama was. He was hot about that. Now listen, H-Town, as long as you have your DD 214, the funeral home will take care of everything and give you the VA forms that is required. Yes, so we just want y'all to be informed, so y'all make sure that they do it, because our sister been through it. Now, who did you go through this with? Your sister, Sister Betty Box? Let us know. With a family member. Mm-hmm. Yes, stay off the military bases back in Brosia, because shoot, I be taking my daughter and nieces up there. Betty Bob say 12 watching, 12 in here. I hear you. Let's go. Now, we said it earlier. You need to let the Social Security Administration know too about them Social Security disability checks. Now, I think y'all tell me that the spouse can take over the regular Social Security, right? We're gonna talk about that in another one. So if they get more from the spouse, they'll stop getting theirs and they can get the Social Security benefits from their spouse.